Welcome to Hollywood Impact. My name is Eric Grubbs. With me, as always, to my right, Christian McCrite.
Good morning, good evening, whatever time you're listening to this, however you may be listening to this.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
It's Memorial Day weekend, so in honor of Memorial Day, we thought we would pick out 3 movies for folks to watch. Not necessarily ranked or our favorite Memorial Day movies, but if it's a stormy day or you can't get out on the lake or whatever and you're inside and you're just looking for a Memorial Day movie to watch, we've got 3 different ones for you to check out if you haven't already. So the first one, Hacksaw Ridge.
I love Hacksaw Ridge.
It's a good movie.
It's so good.
Directed by Mel Gibson, starring the second Spider-Man.
I forgot it was directed by Mel Gibson. Actually.
Dude, that guy can direct movies, I'm telling you.
Yeah, the Passion of Christ.
Passion of the Christ, Braveheart, Apocalypto.
Oh my gosh. I forgot. He did Apocalypto.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Dude, Mel Gibson can direct some movies.
I'm already learning. Hacksaw Ridge is probably my favorite war movie of all time.
Really?
It is. I think it's because it hits home because of my faith.
Mm-hmm.
That's one big thing because I feel like I'm like stuck in between like 2 worlds. Like in one hand, if I were ever in the military, I would love to be what he did. I wouldn't want to kill anybody. I want to spend my time saving people. Then on my other hand, I would love to fly jet planes and be in dogfights.
Yeah.
So like two different sides of this coin. But this movie does such a good job at going into depth about a person who absolutely he's a conscientious objective and whose number one code. I mean, he's basically Batman, but like not as violent.
Not nearly. I mean,
no guns, no killing.
Yeah.
And it's heartfelt, it's emotional. It has some scary sequences, actually.
Well, yeah, it's set in World War II. They're in Okinawa.
Yeah.
And, he's very, he holds strong to his religious beliefs.
Yes.
He's a Seventh-day Adventist, but he wants to serve.
Yeah.
All of his buddies are signing up, and he wants to serve. He wants to be a combat medic, and he wants to just go out and save people and help people.
Yeah.
And what's really, it's a true story. Like, this was a real guy, Desmond Doss, real guy. And at the end, whenever he speaks, I always love that when you can get the actual people that'll speak really at the end of the movie. Yeah. And it's really it's really good. It's really inspirational.
I love the phrases he used. I won't go into any spoilers because I really think you should just watch this movie and experience it for what it is. But to see someone like him amongst a group of people who think so differently than him is very inspirational, very relatable. Because I always feel like I'm sure everyone feels like this at some point, but I always feel like I'm kind of like a fish out of water. I'm a little bit of an odd duck.
Yeah.
So the situation that he's in is completely like everyone's like, "Why are you doing this? Like this is stupid. Like you need.
You should quit. You should just quit."
Everyone's like, "You should quit," and he's like, "No, like." He feels called to save people, and that's just and whatever odds. And he goes through all sorts of junk throughout his life, throughout his career, throughout his childhood life, and yet overcoming all of that to save as many lives as possible in one of the deadliest, most brutal battles in that day and age was just nothing short of inspirational.
Now, was this after Andrew Garfield did Spider-Man?
This is after.
Is it? I thought he was great. I mean, he did a really good job. I thought.
Yeah, he did Spider-Man in 2012. So it was,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it was a little bit after.
And his wife in that movie, the actress, to me, she looks like the chick from Twilight, but like
which one? The main one?
The main one. What's her name? Kristen Stewart?
Yeah, Kristen Stewart.
She looks like Kristen Stewart, but like a Kristen Stewart version that you'd be happy to take home to meet your family. You know what I mean? She just got that look. I don't know if it's just me seeing that resemblance or not.
No, yeah, she kind of does. But she's very supportive.
Yeah.
And great actress. All the acting in this movie, phenomenal.
Yeah.
So. No,
well, I was just going to move on to the second movie.
Yeah, I'm good.
The second movie is something very different. It's American Sniper, directed by Clint Eastwood, starring Bradley Cooper. He plays probably the most decorated, deadliest snipers in U.S. history, Chris Kyle.
Hacksaw
Ridge, very inspirational film. For me, American Sniper is just powerful. It's
It
like
is.
that's the only word I can use to describe it.
It's almost nerve-wracking.
It really is.
I mean, like, it kind of shocks you to your core because it also goes more into, like, how war really affects people. Mm-hmm. And, you know, this guy's going back and forth between Iraq and home and stuff like that. And every time it just gets harder for him to adjust to what's going on. And you really feel for him, and he has to do things and see things that I don't think any person should ever have to see or do. And like, but that's the whole concept, like, of wars. That somebody goes out there and does this dirty job that the rest of us don't want to do, but they do it for the good of our country, and they do it to protect our lives. And that's why, like, these movies are important. And so these aren't just good movies; these are like educational movies at that. And things that people should really keep in mind.
Yeah, I've had people tell me that's like, yeah, I could only watch it once. It's like, it's a really good movie, but I don't want to watch it again.
No, it's brutal.
But at the same time, I think it's important to revisit a movie like this so you don't forget.
Yeah.
You know,
it's okay if a movie's hard for you, because if a movie like that is a little bit hard for you to watch, that's actually kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
Because, like, that shows your humanity.
Mm-hmm.
It shows that, yeah, this is hard to watch because it really is that powerful. It really is that scary. It really is that intense. And that's not even holding a candle to what those people felt in those situations.
Yeah.
And I think that really helps put into perspective. Because I think even sometimes nowadays, I don't think veterans are always treated very kindly.
Yeah.
And I think that's a real shame. And I celebrate these films. I celebrate anything that puts a highlight on the real things these people went through.
Well, I remember watching the movie for the first time and sitting in the theater at the very end, and it's like nobody got up. You know, everybody was just sitting there, and you could hear sobbing in the background. You know, I had a kind of a similar thing when I watched Civil War, but, you know, Civil War, that was fictional.
Yeah.
You know, whereas this happened. This was a real person. These are real people, and it just got you.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I mean, I rewatched it recently as my second time watching it, just because it is a tough film to try to watch again, and I felt the same way. It's like I have to continue to watch this movie and revisit it every few years because we can't forget. Because there's so many of these guys that come back with, like, PTS. And the scene where he's in he's getting his oil changed or whatever, and he's got his kid with him, and you hear a dude, like, changing a tire, and he just it kind of takes him to a different place. That's real for a lot of these guys.
That's horrible.
And it's just something that we need to remember and just keep them in our thoughts or whatever.
Yeah,
and
absolutely, 100%,
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, you need to go watch that movie. It's a good movie. This is kind of a heavier, video. It is. But no, it's absolutely worth that watch.
Yeah. So the third movie
It's very different.
very different. It's a lot more uplifting,
Lighthearted.
nostalgic. Like, hey, let's have some fun. Let's smile after. Talking about Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick.
I saw this way later than other people.
Really?
Well, because I've seen the original Top Gun. It's been a while, and like it's good. I don't think it's a great movie by any means, but I think it's pretty good.
The original or Maverick?
The original.
Okay.
Yeah. And then so when this new one came out, I'm like, yeah, that looks cool, but I'm not going to be first in line to see this movie at the theater.
Yeah.
And then everyone came back and is like, this is like a transcendental movie. and I'm like, I don't know about that. I'm like, I don't really worship at the altar of Top Gun. So
I did as a kid, man. I wore out
I'm sure.
Top Gun, the original, as a kid. I watched that movie probably many times as like I've watched Rocky 3.
Yeah.
I'd wear the white T-shirt and the jeans, get some aviators.
Yeah.
As a kid, I
Highway
wanted
to
to
the
be
Danger Zone
Maverick,
playing.
dude. I wanted to be Maverick.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I was so worried though when they announced the sequel because it's, I don't know, 30 years later.
Yeah, and it's like, how do you follow that story?
And are they gonna butcher it? Because I'd hear different things like, oh, it's gonna be like drones, or I didn't know how they were gonna do it, and they totally, pun intended, landed the plane as far as this sequel goes, because I love this movie. I love Top Gun Maverick.
This movie's really good, and this movie's better than the first one. So,
I actually agree. I agree. I think this is better than the original.
I think it raises some of the like emotional stakes, especially for Maverick. And I watched it a while ago, and then I rewatched it the other night at about 2 a.m. So I was really tired, but it is much better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish I would have seen it in theaters. I never got to see it in theaters.
Yeah, I think it released on Memorial Day weekend 2 years ago. My brother and I went and watched it, and we're like both like, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, everybody was like, oh my gosh, this movie's amazing. And I'm like, oh my God, still don't know. And then I finally sat down in my free time, just on a free day for some reason. I was like, you know what? I'll watch it. And I was like, God, dang it, it's pretty good.
Well, it had just the right amount of nostalgia that without overdoing it, I think.
No, yeah.
Like, I wanted to ask you, did you understand like the Penny Benjamin connection to the first film?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so my brother and I both got it when we watched the movie. So
he's been waiting for this moment.
Well, in the original, Maverick and Goose are getting their asses chewed by their commander, and he's talking about, he's been busted twice. He's fly by the towers and one admiral's daughter. And Goose kind of leans over and he's like, Penny Benjamin? And Maverick's like, yeah. Well, the love interest in Maverick is Penny Benjamin. It's the same girl that they're referencing. So whenever I watched that in the movie, I caught it and I looked at my brother and he's like, yeah, they did it.
Yeah,
and it was
right
so. And Jennifer Connelly is, dude, she's great. Oh my goodness.
There's a water bottle somewhere. You might need.
I might need to.
you might need to cool yourself down.
Listen, Jennifer Connelly, she can get it, dude. She's just great, and she's the perfect. I mean, compared to the love interest in the first one, Kelly McGillis. No disrespect, but Penny Benjamin. She's the
like,
one.
He's like, I love it, brother. So I went on like a real like sketch high lately for some reason.
Yeah.
He's not a part of that China. It's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. Yeah. So some of my favorite things actually about that movie is when Glenn Powell is on screen. He's one of those guys that like you're like in between wanting to hang out with him and wanting to like
punch his face.
And like part of you is like, I'd really love to give you just a good
just suck it
and
to
then the other part's like, I want to sit down and have a club soda with this guy.
A club soda?
I don't drink alcohol, so I don't drink alcohol, so mine's club soda.
What about
don't
a Dr. Pepper?
I don't know. Like I feel like if I go to a bar and I order a Dr. Pepper versus a club soda, I feel like I feel more embarrassed if it's a Dr. Pepper because I feel like that's like a kid who asked for like a glass of milk at the bar. Like that equates stuff.
I don't know. At least club soda
soda has the word club in it, so it feels more adultish.
Okay.
But anyways, that's enough about that.
Yeah.
But anyways, no, he's a very interesting character. I didn't foresee what they did with his character. I wasn't expecting them to do. I'm trying not to go into spoilers here because it's really hard not to.
Well, it's been a couple of years. These people should have seen this.
Yes. So, he's not one of the main people who's picked for like the final like showdown.
Right.
Right. But he does play a very important role.
Sure.
And so I just didn't expect that for him because the movie spent all this time like hyping up this person, and then I'm kind of glad that they did that because they kind of subverted your expectations a little bit. You kind of knew that it was going to be more focused on Maverick and Rooster.
Yeah.
But still, he's a really interesting character. Their dynamic. Some of the scenes in the movie are just like you can tell all the actors were just having a good time.
Yeah.
Having a good time making this movie.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I think I don't even know if they're going to do another one or not. If they just left it with this, I'm fine too.
Yeah.
But well done.
I don't know. But you should go watch this movie.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So that's it for us. Those are 3 movies for you guys to check out if you're looking for something this Memorial Day weekend. I do want to say thank you to all those veterans who have served or who are serving. Thank you very much, and enjoy your weekend.
See you later.